Hi, and welcome to another episode of Kuntarkis. My name is Michael Yon. This episode is Limbo, between the third and fourth dimension. So here's Kuntarkis.
Limbo is it's a curious, how would you say, vibration, if anybody actually claims it to be a vibration. And sometimes people can get caught between vibrations, and limbo is like a place where you are. With a lot of people, it's a complete blackness, or you're in a limbo type situation where you can't go anywhere. You try to go, but no matter how far you travel, the same surroundings are with you. Your body is dead, but it's like you're confused. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to ask, because in most cases there's nobody there. Another form of being in limbo is when the spirit is simply just a fragment of the real essence of the spirit. And the spirit may have gone through the light, but this little kind of fragment is still within a certain vibration of spirit world, but sort of caught between the actual essence of that spirit world and the physical. And they don't know what to do. And they can be completely unaware of anything. In fact, it's like there's nobody home. So there are many different facets of understanding to the word limbo.
So why would a spirit end up in limbo?
It's to do with the emotions. The emotions at the point of physical death. And also, if the body is in a coma, this is the other point. If the physical body goes into a coma, whether self-induced or by, say, a hospital through chemical drugs. But sometimes the spirit comes out of the body and it doesn't understand what it's seeing, like it might see its body. And it literally just panics and takes off because it doesn't understand whatsoever. And it ends up in a place that would be called limbo. And it doesn't know what to do. And sometimes it can be there for a year, because some people have been in comas for anything up to 35 years in the past. And then eventually the body dies. And what actually happens, the spirit just travels further and further away from the body. And the body becomes more critical, and literally the cord severs for whatever reason. So the body dies and the spirit is caught in a vibration that it doesn't know how to get out of. And sometimes a guide or a spirit can come along and actually assist them and take them back into the fourth dimension, being the total reality of spirit world. So it's a very unusual way of expressing what limbo is all about.
And so they can be stuck there for any amount of time.
Absolutely. And what's more interesting is, as I say to you, I got an example, but I can't go into it because it's the third dream experience that I just went through, and I'm just on the verge of completing it. But this whole family is in limbo. And they have been since 1461, because they died under very unusual circumstances. So they just stayed where they were, and they were just carrying on with life as if nothing else existed. And the surroundings were the same because of what their knowledge was. So they're actually in limbo, and I'm just about to set them free.
Right.
Yeah.
So what percentage of spirits do you think go into limbo?
Very small, probably less than 1%, which would still be a fair amount if you look at it from a spirit's perspective. Like if you take, say, for instance, if there's about 24 to 25 million people that have died so far from, say, the COVID injections, they would have died suddenly from more likely a cardiac arrest. And to end up in spirit world and be confused, sometimes they can end up in limbo. So it could be, as I said to you, less than 0.5%, and it would create a little bit of confusion. So yes, they do end up in a place called limbo. But spirits do, by the way, spirits do come and help because they find out the connection, it's passed on. And other spirits like guides, whoever, do actually try to find that entity and help them out. Yeah.
Yeah. This is just a broad, open question. How long does a spirit exist?
Well, that would have to be answered from every single soul that exists within the Earth's vibration, because the soul is your connection to your spirit, and it's the soul that puts out the facets of spirits, whether it's 1 or 2 or 4 or 10. And those spirits can be within a family as a facet of the original soul, or they can be all over the world. It depends on what journey of existence they're going to, say, experience. But the spirit, in reality, is forever until the soul brings that spirit back into the actual essence of their own soul. And they still have an identity within the soul.
I see. Is the spirit in the body all the time?
No, it's not, mate. No. There's a lot of very unusual circumstances that have occurred throughout human history. It'd be very hard to pinpoint the one that I'd like to express, but the spirit's in the body when you are physically aware, like walking around, doing a job, spending 6 hours in a factory, 6 hours repairing a vehicle. The spirit is within your body because you're not mostly aware of its existence. So it's in there. And it literally stays there until you lay down and go to sleep. But once you go into a deep sleep, that means you go down, down in vibration, your spirit will project out of your body. So it's mainly at night that your spirit will come out of your body, and it can be out of your body until you wake up in the morning. You can suddenly wake up and feel really alive. And that's because your spirit just came back in, as well as energizing the spirit back into your body, which can energize you. There are moments when you wake up and you're really tired and you just want to go back to bed. There's other times you wake up and you're so awake you can't go back to sleep. And a lot of the times the spirit brings back an energy force that rejuvenates you and makes you feel more alive.
Wow. Yeah. And if a person gets knocked out, they get hit in the head, then that knocks the spirit out, doesn't it?
Sometimes when the body is knocked out suddenly, the spirit can project out automatically within a moment. Other times, because of the unawareness of that individual, that spirit will stay within the body. It depends on the individual completely.
Can we teach the spirit to come out of the body, to project out?
100%. And it's such a simple process, but we have to do it regularly. All we have to do is, even through the day, say, I can project my spirit out of my human body because I am the spirit. I can project my spirit out of my body because I am the spirit. I'm the power. When you go to bed, you can lay there with your hands on your heart. Just take, say, several deep breaths in so you can balance your body, and then say, I am ready to sleep with my human body, but I am also ready as a spirit to project out of my body now. And say that several times and do it every night or as many times as you can. And what you're doing is it's not that you're conditioning the spirit, you're actually helping to open up the spirit's awareness because we have been so dumbed out. Our pineal gland is encased because of fluoride. And if our pineal gland is encased, then we are not connected to the outer vibrations. We are literally only living a physical, ingrained, conditioned type of life. And we need to change that by expressing more words like, I am physical, but I also have a spirit. And I can project my spirit. I can project my spirit now. The more you start to say that, you start to raise your own consciousness of awareness. It comes back to the individual, always.
Wow. And when a person takes their last breath, how long does it take for the spirit to come out of the body?
Any amount of time. Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, a spirit can come out basically immediately. Other times, anything from a minute to an hour in normal time. It just depends, again, on the individual. And in a lot of cases, because of the unawareness, when a spirit comes out of their body, they create tremendous amounts of fear because they're looking at their double and it's lying on the ground, or it's lying in a bed, or it's lying in a plane that just crashed, or a car that just crashed, or in a situation that caused their death. And when they come out, they panic and they can take off. Or sometimes they'll try to get back into their body because they think they need to be there to keep the body alive. So it depends on your own self-awareness, always. That's what it comes back to.
Is it a logical and simple thing for me to say that if a person dies peacefully and slowly, the spirit might take longer to leave the body?
Yes, I can say that's fairly true. It just depends, again, on the individual. But in a lot of cases, that's 100% true. When you die peacefully, a lot of the times you will stay within the body, especially if you die alone and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm about to die. Oh, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm about to die. Hey, it doesn't feel too bad. And you pass away. And it's like you just close your eyes spiritually and you stay there until you have suddenly an awakening. And you say, hang on, my body's dead, but I'm a spirit. Or I feel as if I'm still alive. I'm going to stand up. And what happens? The spirit stands up. Sometimes they recognize the body down there. Other times they don't. They just walk off. And they can continue their physical life the way it was before they died. And that's why I've come across so many in the spirit world where they're sitting on verandas or they're walking in shopping centers, even driving vehicles, sometimes radically, really badly, backwards, and they can't control it no matter what they do, or forward or sideways, or they get a crash that could represent how they died. And they do it over and over and over again. Again, it depends on that awareness of that spirit.
That's a big thing, isn't it? When they go into spirit world after they've died, generally a lot of people will end up looping the circumstances that they died in.
Absolutely. I've come across that hundreds of times, Michael. And a lot of the times, I help change that. And when I tell you this dream experience, you're going to say, now I can understand what you're saying about how long it can take, right? About, like I just said to you, 1461.
Oh, yeah.
This whole family died under very unusual circumstances. So now it's 2025, right? And I've just come up into their vibration.
Wow.
Yeah.
If I eat good food, will that help me consciously?
Yes, it will. Michael, the interesting factor about food, I'm going to explain it this way. Let's say we have a garden and we're growing zucchinis, potatoes, peas, corn, capsicums, Lebanese cucumbers, pumpkin. And this is what we're growing. That's our veggie garden. And each night we have something different. Or sometimes we combine the whole thing into a pie, whatever, or a curry. And all those bits of food are going into our bodies. Within that food is living consciousness, because everything that grows in the ground has an attachment to the earth and to Mother Earth. And if that is the case, every time we put food into our mouth, it's like we're putting a part of Mother Earth into our mouth. And that's living consciousness. So we grow more consciously in that awareness, because that food is helping us. It's making us healthy. So our thoughts are different. Our thoughts are better. Yet if we have really bad food, our level of understanding is limited. And that's the hard part for humanity to understand, because of their level of thinking.
Yeah, I see. So living food would be obviously more conscious and better for us to eat.
Absolutely, 100%. One of the things we have to do to have that, how would you say, opened up, ingrained, or something like that, it's like saying we have to change our thinking. And that's the part we need to change first before we can bring that into our existence.
This concludes another episode of Kuntarkis. If you'd like to find out more about Kuntarkis, find his website, which is etcconsciousness.com. He has articles there, he has his books listed there, and also if you have any reason to contact us in general for any reason, just email kuntarkis@gmail.com. That's it for now. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Michael Yon, and stay tuned for more.